Hey everybody, it is a Monday morning here at the Raising Arrows household, and we've kind of gotten all of our chores done and everybody's had breakfast, and so it's time to start our morning time. And I thought, why not take you guys along and show you kind of what our morning time looks like? So just give you a walkthrough of what we do, how we do it, the order that we do it in, and then the resources that we are currently using. I have a post on my blog that I keep updated with what we're currently doing for morning time so that I can refer people back to it at any given point. And then I have other morning time posts on the blog that share the concept of morning time and morning time with a large family. So I'll link those down below for you. But this will kind of be like a walkthrough of what we do so you can see how incredibly easy it is to implement this and how wonderful it is to bring the family together at the beginning of the day. And then I just disperse everybody out to their independent schoolwork, but we managed to get quite a bit done in the 1 to 2 hours that we spend with morning time. And honestly, morning time is only 2 hours if we're doing a lot of projects and things like that. So actually morning time usually only lasts an hour to an hour and a half potentially. So the first thing I feel like I need to do is explain to you what morning time is for our family. Morning time, morning basket, they call it all kinds of different things in the homeschool world, but for us, it came out of consistently doing Bible and a read aloud together every morning. Even when I was in the midst of having lots of babies and I was pregnant all the time, I still did everybody together doing the Bible, reading the Bible, going through some sort of story Bible or something like that, and then doing a read aloud together. And typically the read aloud came from our other curricula that we were using, a lot of times Tapestry of Grace. So we would read that all together. I would have the kids sit there and we'd read all together. And then I would send them off. And then if we had Tapestry of Grace stuff to do, we'd do that in the afternoon. In about 2017, we took a Jubilee year and we decided to do morning time all together and do a more extensive morning time. So we started using the Homeschool Garden and the Peaceful Press resources, and we did those things all together. And it was during that time, I believe, that my oldest had graduated, so there was kind of this break period for us anyway, and my husband was deployed at the time too. So taking that Jubilee year, we were able to kind of mix things up a little bit because it was a different season in our homeschool. And so it was a perfect time to try this full morning time and see how it worked. And what we ended up doing was still Bible and still a read aloud at the end. So we were bookending with the things we had always done. But then in between is where we put all of our history type stuff, our projects, our fine arts went in there. Any languages that we were learning went into that corporate morning time where we were all sitting there together as a family, either in the living room or the dining room, and we were working together on these things. And yes, sometimes the little kids were totally not interested. Sometimes I just let them go do their own thing. But a lot of times I would have coloring pages, or I would just let them play at the table as long as they were quiet. But we were all together and they were absorbing whatever they could. And if there was anything that I could draw them into, any conversations or projects that I could draw them into, that's what I would do. So come along with me and let's take a look at what our morning time currently looks like here in the fall of 2023. Usually around 10 a.m. I call everyone to school and they go and get their notebooks and sometimes toys and whatever it is they're going to bring to the dining room table for the school day. I gather my supplies, which usually include my laptop, whatever curriculum I'm currently using. So right now it's the Playful Pioneers. We're reading On the Banks of Plum Creek. It is Hurlbut's Bible, and whatever else we are studying currently. So sometimes that would include flip-flop Spanish. We're using that to learn Spanish as a family. It might include exploring nature with your children, and I will have all of those linked down below. But today I was doing just Hurlbut's, the Playful Pioneers, And then also a unit study that I picked up a long time ago that kind of has a fallish feel. It's a sugar and spice unit study, and so currently we are studying sugar. I wait until everyone is seated at the table, and then I read the current story from Hurlbut's Story of the Bible, and then I read from Theology, which is part of the Playful Pioneers curriculum. While I read, the kids typically draw in their notebooks. The little girls will play sometimes, and they just are quietly listening. I do not mind them keeping their hands active while they listen to the stories, to the reading. I actually encourage it because I think sometimes it does activate their little brains. And when I ask questions, which I do quite frequently, I will ask questions that have to do with whatever we are reading. They are very quick to respond and answer. So I know they are listening, and it's okay that they are doing other things while I'm reading. Today we did one of the folk songs. It was Shenandoah from Music in Our Homeschool. And I just read them the little blurb about the folk song, and then I play the video and I turn it around so that they can see it. And they typically lay their heads down on the table, just like my son is doing here, and watch the video, and they really enjoy this. Currently, I'm trying to incorporate some fall activities into our morning time. So today we made a hot cocoa mix, and so this is the kids sifting that hot cocoa mix so that we can put it into a quart jar and have it on hand for the season. We read off the ingredients that were in a regular cocoa mix and then talked about these ingredients, and we taste tested it then, and the kids all really liked it. They said it was more semi-sweet than milk chocolate like the mix is, but that just means it doesn't have as much sugar in it, and it was pretty shocking how many crazy ingredients were in the drink mix. Now, a little bit more about some of the resources that I used today. First of all is Hurlbut's Story of the Bible. And I talk about this resource a lot because it's one that I've had for many years and I really, really love it. Now, I really prefer the older editions, so make sure that you try to look for the older editions. And I actually think it's free on the internet. I just happen to have a really old copy I picked up at some thrift store and have grown to just love this thing. And so we go through this every few years because it's just a good overview of the Bible. The next resource is from the Playful Pioneers lesson plans itself, and it was one that we had never used before, but it's Theology or Theology, and it is a really good resource as well. And so we enjoyed going through it. We actually just finished it up, and we're going to be doing some more holiday-based things for our Bible time during morning time. But inside Theology, there is a lot of scripture, and there's just a lot of great doctrinal conversations to have with your children. And so that's been a really good resource as well. And then the Playful Pioneers is our main curriculum right now. And I did just do a review on that I will link here. And you'll be able to see all the way through what the lesson plans look like and how we use it. It has been a fun thing based on the Little House on the Prairie books. So like I said, we are currently reading On the Banks of Plum Creek, and the kids just really enjoy going through these. In fact, it's kind of renewed their interest in watching the Little House on the Prairie series on TV, and so they've been doing that simultaneously, even though the series on TV is really just based on the books. It's not a direct correlation to the books, so they've been able to pick out those nuances as well. And next is Music in Our Homeschool. In a school folder on my laptop, I have the direct link to go to exactly what lesson we are on. And I go there and you can see like we're about 66% through, and I just scroll down to where we are. I click on that. I talk through it, show them the videos, and then I click complete and continue, and that moves us on to the next one so that I can see exactly where I am. We have been using this program for years and years. Absolutely love it. So that is our morning time. That's what it looks like in a nutshell. Pretty simple, pretty easy to implement. I will try to do some of these throughout the year so that you can see how things change in our morning time. But remember, the link to our current morning time is going to be in the description, and at any point in time you can go and look at that and see what we're currently doing. Now, I do want to give you a little bit of a behind the scenes look at what happened during this video that you didn't see in the filming. For one thing, I basically fought with the printer most of the morning. We were going to have a map that went along with the on the banks of Plum Creek. I got that map off of notebooking pages. It was a map of Europe. I was going to have the kids find Sweden and Norway and Germany to go along with that particular chapter, and I couldn't get it to print. So I messed with it for a while, and then I gave up. And then after I sent everybody off to independent school, I messed with it for another, I don't know, 2 hours. It was such a pain. I still don't have it completely solved. I've got one computer that will talk to the printer, but I've got another computer that won't talk to the printer. So I spent hours fighting that. So you didn't see that on the camera. And then you also might have noticed we went from a sifter with the hot cocoa mix to a mesh strainer. And that was because I should have just done that in the first place. But we realized very quickly we were going to be sifting from here until kingdom come. And so we went ahead and switched over to the metal strainer, and that went a lot better. But I will have the link to that hot cocoa mix recipe in the description notes for you if you'd like to try it yourself. It was just literally 3 ingredients, and it ended up really, really tasty. The kids did say they thought it needed marshmallows, but hey, doesn't all hot cocoa need marshmallows? So anyway, I thank you for joining me for this morning time, and I hope you have a lovely day and try some morning time activities with your homeschool as well. See you later, guys. You know how if you sit through an entire movie, sometimes you get to see a special scene that nobody else gets to see because they didn't sit through it? Well, that's what you're getting from me today. This is my end table, and that is your special treat, is getting to see my end table and the weirdo things that are on it. Yes, that is a Highland cow, and there are all kinds of books. Have a great day, everybody.